speak to those who might be listening, who are going through some of those battles. What would you share? What would, from your experience, what would you say to them? Some that have hope, some that maybe don't have hope. Just communicate to people who are battling something so difficult. As someone who has been there, what would you say?
I would share the number one quote that I got on my first battle. Somebody said to me, "You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails."
Oh, I love that.
And that resonated with me big time. So much so that on my second journey, I had to remind myself of that, because I sat in the hospital and I bawled my eyes out the first day and I said, "Why me?"
Yeah.
And this poor young doctor had to deal with my bullshit. And so I'm sorry you're not a shrink. I know you're a doctor. You don't have time for this, but like, why me?
Yeah.
Like, I had it once. That's enough.
Right.
Why am I getting it? I could get it a third time. I have no idea. My kids are like, "You gonna get sick again?" I said, "I don't know. I hope not."
Yeah.
And if I do, will I live? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm living every day like it's my last. But it's hopefully this won't be in memoriam.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I love that. And I've heard that quote before. It's so powerful. We can't control what shows up on our doorstep. All we can control is our response.
I always tell people when they get sick who come to me for advice. Like I went to a late friend of mine, Derek McClintock, who sadly passed away a couple of years ago. I remember my first battle. I went and visited him in his room and I said, "Help me out here. What am I going to expect?" He's slapping. And everything that he said would happen. And you have to go to somebody who's gone through it, because asking you if you've never gone through it because you read a book, I want to talk to somebody who's actually experienced it.
Yeah, I was reminded of that when my daughter passed away. It was, of course, probably one of the most difficult things that any parent will go through, is to experience that, and to have people at the time who would come to me almost trying to, "I understand what you're going through." And fuck you.
No, you don't.
No clue.
You never know what to say. That's
No,
right.
and that's exactly
And
right.
that's a default response.
You don't have to come up with answers. You don't have to go there with all this stuff. Just having the person beside you to say you're not alone is so powerful.
You have no idea what words mean. People would message me constantly when I was in hospital, and the words meant a lot, because I'm sitting there in the hospital. I'm feeling like shit. I'm not myself. And I love reading the messages. Not, "Hey, way to go." Just, "I'm with you." Even reading something like that meant a lot to me.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of folks in there, whatever adversity they're facing, I think there's this belief that we feel like we're the only one.
Yeah.
That this is all, I'm alone, there's nobody. And yet when we share our story, I think that's the power of vulnerability, is when we share our story openly as we're comfortable, what we realize is we're not alone.
Yeah.
There are others who have been through what we've been through or something similar, or who are willing to just come alongside and say, "Rooting for you, man.
100%.
Like, I'm cheering you on," right?
100%.